Okay, so we are doing the final paycheck for the month of August. This video is late because of that festival. So I'm going to preface this video by saying it's very disappointing. So the festival did not go well. I was planning on popping in here with a lot of money. It didn't go well at all. I ended up losing money. It was awful. And I gave up a festival I usually do to do this one because it was bigger. I had the world's worst spot. Like at a festival, there is a spot that is the worst, and I had it. So as soon as I saw where my spot was, I knew it's not going to be good, and it wasn't. So highly disappointing based on my festival profit projection. If I had gone to the festival I usually go to, I would have been walking home with like $4,000 or $5,000 profit. Instead, I have none, zero, none, no profit. So anyway, it doesn't take from our regular budget. It comes out of my business account, but still. And I didn't drive for some of those days, obviously. So our regular income is lower than normal as a result. So we're looking at like $150 less than what I typically think of as our bare minimum weekly. So let's get to it. Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay, so we are going to start here. That is not where we were. That is when I was budgeting the 175. And if you remember over here, I said 175 to 200, and I decided to budget the 200 for food. So this right here is inaccurate. So we started out with 218.02, and then my husband went to Aldi while I was gone and spent $2 on some cheese. Okay, just $2, whatever. And then today I actually went and did the weekly grocery shopping out of last week's check. So I'm a little discombobulated right now with getting home Monday, and then Tuesday was just kind of a rest day. So, because I got home at almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, so I went to Aldi, spent 90, Hy-Vee 43, Walmart 59, and I have $24 rollover. If this is your first budget video that you're watching, I do not take that money and put it into any other category. I roll it only into the grocery budget. Okay, over here, everything was right on except for a show choir shirt that I had to buy. And that was $22.94, so that threw off some of these numbers a little bit. So instead of having the $617.91 left, we had $594.97. So over here, $594.97 left over. I pulled that extra payment out of our checking account cushion, which is what it's for. So we ended up doing $277.06 there, and I just left the starter emergency fund amount at $317.91 and zero-based budget. I accidentally swapped those. Anyway, so moving on over here, I'm going to go ahead and start at the food. So the rollover from this last week was $24. I'm budgeting $175, and we have therefore $199 available. All right. Now you can see our income was only $10.52. I normally think of $1,200, but it ends up not mattering because things worked out okay anyway. So right here we have the quarter of our mortgage payment, the $353. Today I sent off the full payment, or sent it off online. Food, there's the $175 that we are budgeting. We did have a car repair of sorts. The brake, I had changed the brakes, remember, a long time ago, or feels like a long time ago. It was last month. On the car, but the back brakes sounded like they were squeaking. I have drum brakes back there. I've never had drum brakes before, but anyway, we went in and had them checked. They were fine, but they just cleaned them and reset the shoes or whatever. They said we have about 25,000 miles left on those. So anyway, that ended up being $55. Health stuff. So this is we do have appointments every single month. So I have $150 set aside for copays and such. I'm starting to set aside money once again for kids, and I just call it kids stuff. $50. And that's just because, you know, like you have no idea what they're going to come home with. Like, you know, it could be like, we need money for this field trip or this or that, or like that show choir shirt. If I don't spend it, I'm just going to keep stacking it up. Like I know in the winter time when show choir has competition, they do not allow you to bring food. You have to purchase food at whatever school the competition is at. So, you know, that's something we could probably dip into that for. And then I have the Discover card. That's the card we took out to pay for some of those after we depleted our emergency fund, paying for crazy repairs. We had more that we had to pay for. So that's that. We got the card at 15 months, 0%. And we divided the amount by 14. And so minimum payment then is $188. So let's go ahead and do our math here. 353 plus 175 plus 55 plus 150 plus 50 plus 188 brings us to 971. As always, I'm going to double check that off camera. Yep, 971. That's what it is. So expenses are 971. Okay, so out of the money we have in the account, leaves us with $358.39. Is that accurate? Well, sort of accurate, right? So leftover $358.39. And we're doing the checking cushion. So we're gonna have to replenish that up to 300. And then we have a little bit to move into the emergency fund. Not a lot. So I am really super sad about that festival not going as expected. You know, because you assume it's a festival with 200,000 more people than what I normally have at a festival, or at my big festival that I normally go to, and still walked away with nothing. So incredibly heartbroken, incredibly disappointed. So, I mean, there we are. We ended August. You know, August was expensive with all the back to school stuff and things like that. But we still ended with hitting our first goal, you know, starting that checking account cushion and then adding some to replenish our emergency fund, or the starter emergency fund anyway. So that's the end of August, sort of. The next real budget video. So I'm going to do a video going over like September's overview, because I actually do that like on Every Dollar, just to see like the bird's eye view of our budget. My husband likes to see it that way. And I do the like nitty gritty work in that Budget by Paycheck workbook. So I will have that video out, I don't know, in a couple days probably. And then the paycheck in September, the first paycheck in September, we will go through and completely finalize August budget, and then, you know, start anew. So also I have a video coming out on Friday giving more detail about the festival and how that went and why it was so awful. Also, at the beginning of that video, I am going over how I feel like our austere August went. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.